right, guys, welcome back to another video. Lots to talk about today, but before we do get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button if it's your first time here or if you've been watching for a while and you do enjoy my daily gaming content. Also, check out my link to my Spotify page in the description where you can get the audio version of this show, which comes out a couple of hours after the YouTube release. But we will start off here and we'll talk about Fallout 4 and the next generation update, something that a lot of people, including myself, have been waiting for now for about 2 years. When they first started showing this off, they previewed it with the FPS boost and all these extra features of backwards compatibility and being able to get a better version of this game on the Xbox Series X and S. And now we finally have the information for this game. It is coming on April 25th, where you'll get a big update here to the original Fallout 4 game. And here is everything that you're going to be getting with this upgrade. So it says the current generation update for Fallout 4, which was first announced back in 2022, is slated for April 25th, 2024, as shared by Bethesda Studios on Thursday. And this update brings native Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 support for the game, with console players being able to choose between a 60 FPS performance mode and a quality mode with increased visual fidelity. And that was one of the big drawbacks of Fallout 4 if you were playing it via Xbox Game Pass or playing it via backwards compatibility on your Series X and S, is that it was still in 30 frames per second. But now we get this big native Series X and S update. And then it says here, meanwhile, Windows PC players can expect official ultra-wide support as well as a number of fixes for the Fallout 4 Creation Kit. And Fallout 4 is also coming to the Epic Game Store and will be officially Steam Deck verified. And all players, regardless of platform, will benefit from bug fixes and the new Creation Club content. Enclave Remnants arrives in Fallout 4, so it's a part of this free update. The Bethesda is giving new and previously released Creation Club content on all platforms. Includes a new quest where players will be tasked with stopping Enclave Remnants from building back up in the Commonwealth. And there will also be a new Halloween workshop pack, which does what it sounds, providing 38 Halloween themed decorations to use when building and customizing settlements. And finally, they say there is the makeshift weapon pack, which adds a variety of electric improvised weapons to choose from. And you can see the entire list here of the stuff that you're going to be getting with this update. So finally, this update is coming for your Series X and S and for your PlayStation 5. You're going to get that native 60 frames per second, which will just give a far better experience for playing through Fallout 4. And this announcement right now makes a ton of sense because the TV show just came out. Lots of critical acclaim for the TV show. A lot of people are loving it. It's going to create hype again around the Fallout series. And I was thinking they should probably release something Fallout related on the game side of things. And this is what they are doing, because you're going to get people that haven't played Fallout 4, probably haven't checked out the Fallout video game series, and they're going through watching the TV show and then become interested in seeing what the Fallout video game is all about. And a normal spot for people to jump into the series will be with the latest release of it, the most current game that will still plays well, still ages very well, and they'll be enjoying that at a smooth 60 frames per second on their consoles. And it's obviously the next question is Fallout 5, right? Everyone wants to know about Fallout 5. We still don't have any information about that. That is still, I think, many years away, because they're working on Elder Scrolls 6, and then Fallout 5 is going to be coming after that. So I wouldn't be expecting that probably until a couple of years into the next generation of Xbox. So at least we have this here to carry us over for a few years. And then there's still Fallout 76, which has had huge improvements since it first released. So if you are a Fallout fan, there is plenty of content out there to still be able to consume, waiting for the next mainline Fallout series. And when it comes to TV shows, a lot of people are asking whether Todd Howard would be interested in an Elder Scrolls TV show, again, especially after now that the Fallout TV show is out and people are really enjoying it. And the answer to that is no, at least as of right now. It says here, speaking to IGN on the red carpet at the premiere of Amazon's Fallout TV series in LA, Howard addressed the possibility of a show based on Bethesda Game Studios' other big franchise, And here's what he says. Everybody asks like about Elder Scrolls, and I keep saying no also. You never know if someone's going to click. I think this really came out of, we think things are aligning to do a high quality job. It wasn't forced. And continues here saying, I can't predict the future, but this has been one of the most enjoyable projects I've ever done. And we're just over the moon, everybody in the studio, with seeing it this way. So there you have it right now. Don't hold your breath for an Elder Scrolls TV show. For me personally, I would much rather an Elder Scrolls TV show. I like Elder Scrolls more than I do like Fallout. I mean, they're both great, but I am more definitely of an Elder Scrolls person. So I would love to see them bring that to live action and just kind of give us a really deep world with this series. And I think they definitely could with all the fantasy elements of it. So I hope someday they do end up doing that, especially if the Fallout TV series does make them a ton of money. They'll probably start thinking, okay, how can we continue to expand out the RIPs outside of the video game medium? And there have been tons of great video game TV shows that have been coming out lately. And I think it's a big part of this overall expansion of the gaming industry with the rising cost to develop games. It's how can you get more people, and how can you get more people to make money off of with your IPs that you're creating? And we're seeing PlayStation do this a lot. We're seeing Xbox do it, and that is create TV shows, create other forms of entertainment to bring in that money, so then you can also subsidize the development of the main AAA games. So it's good to hear that the TV show is doing well. I will end up watching this one. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first season of Halo. I have to go through Halo season 2. TV shows are always on the lower end of my list in terms of entertainment. I always end up playing video games whenever I have free time, but I will be jumping in, seeing how these shows have improved and how Fallout is initially. So that's cool to see it doing well. Now let's jump over here. Let's talk about Immortals of Aveum, because we know Immortals of Aveum was not a very successful game. And there's been a lot of stuff that they've done well recently, which is in putting in the FSR 3 into the game, which is one of the first games on console to actually get that implementation. FSR 3.1, I believe, was put into the console versions of the game. So that was pretty cool. But the overall commercial success of Immortals of Aveum was not good. You saw the price cut right away, and there's just a bunch of stuff here that was disappointing for this game. And it looks like it's all now ending up with the majority of the staff being furloughed. So this says here, according to a LinkedIn post by former employee Chris Morns, which has been corroborated by Polygon reporter Nicole Carpenter, Ascendant Studios has furloughed the majority of their staff. And this is someone who left the studio last summer to join Phoenix Labs, saying, I can't imagine what that would be like, as this is worse than getting laid off. So basically, a furlough is an imposed leave of absence from work, which is typically unpaid. And employees technically keep their jobs and are expected to return to work at some point. It means they don't qualify for things like severance pay. That's honestly far worse than just getting laid off, getting severance, and then knowing your fate, because as of right now they're just on, again, unpaid leave of absence, and they don't really know when they are coming back. Carpenter says here, this lines up with what I've heard at Immortals of Aveum developer Ascendant Studios. The large portion of the staff was recently furloughed, haven't been able to confirm numbers, and Ascendant hasn't responded to multiple requests for comments. So I'm sure there will be more information coming about that, especially as more people will be speaking out about it. Now, when it comes to some other layoffs, EA is also shutting down the Apex Legends UK QA team with around 50 people affected. So it says here, during a call, it was said that the decision not to renew contracts wasn't due to the team's performance, but to a restructuring of the business. Sources say that the team performed well and hit all its internal targets and goals. It's understood that this is not among the 670 employees who were laid off from EA late in February. And it says everything seemed to be heading to a normal renewal, ready to tackle the next year of plans for Apex. One source who was blindsided by the news, and the decision has meant that those affected are now scrambling to find jobs, and some contracts expire in a matter of week. So more layoffs, 50 people here affected from the UKQA team. And then Ascendant Studios, which is a studio where Immortals of Aveum, the game was published by EA, their employees are essentially furloughed. So, I mean, it's been less. It's been slightly less in terms of the layoffs and all the negativity around the industry over the last few weeks, but it's still happening. The industry is still at a point where they have to cut costs and try to improve their profit margins. You're going to see this continue until they get to the point where they are happy with the restructuring that they have done. All right, let's jump over here. Let's talk about Hellblade 2, because Hellblade 2, from what we have seen, this is going to be an absolute showcase for the entire industry, for this entire generation. No matter what platform you are on, people are going to be looking at Hellblade 2 as, I think, a benchmark of how incredible some graphics can look. And now we have Digital Foundry weighing in here, talking about Hellblade 2 is on another level, even despite the Series S concerns. So here is what they say specifically about the game. On the Xbox Series X, it's clearly a demanding game, but the results still look excellent overall. It's the lower power platform, specifically the Series S, that I'm more curious about. Resolution is bound to take a hit, and I'd be curious to see the extent to which there are any further S-specific nips and tucks. The game's configuration on Series X may also place this as one of the more demanding pieces of PC software we've seen so far this generation, and Hellblade 2 is bound to create some divides as a result of these compromises, but I have to say that I have a lot of respect for Ninja Theory's creative talents and the immense visual accomplishment this title represents. In my book, this could be the very best looking Unreal Engine 5 title out there when it releases on May 21st, which is no small feat. And the Digital Foundry team has counted a rough Xbox Series X resolution range between 1296p and 1440p. And again, this is rough. You're not going to fully know until this game does come out. But I mean, everything we have seen, this is going to be an absolute showcase for video games, an absolute showcase for visual fidelity and creativity, realism that we haven't seen yet this generation. And it's going to be pretty insane when it's finally up on people's screens and you're seeing it in beautiful real life on a big screen TV, an OLED or something on your monitor, however you're deciding to play it. I think it's going to be pretty insane. And if this is a showpiece, it actually gets me even more excited about what the future holds for Unreal Engine 5 games, especially coming from Xbox. When you think about Gear 6, where we've seen those rumors that people aren't ready because Gear 6 is so incredible with what the Coalition has been able to do. And the Coalition, the studio that helped work on the Matrix demo. So it's pretty crazy if they're going to be able to outdo what Hellblade 2 has been able to do. And Unreal Engine 5 is going to, I think, finally give us a lot of that next gen feeling that we've been looking for throughout the first 4 years of this generation with the Xbox Series X, S, and with the PlayStation 5. I'm also interested in whether Ninja Theory has inputted any of those major tools that people have always talked about with Xbox and how that has actually helped in the overall development and the performance of this game, especially with how in-depth it truly is. Now, let's jump over here. Let's talk about some potential rumors or potential games that are going to be announced and coming. In fact, this one is pretty much confirmed. There is a new game reveal coming on Thursday, April 18th from Warhorse Studios. And as we know, they are the team behind Kingdom Come Deliverance. And that game, based off of what Tom Henderson is saying here, is that it is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, saying this isn't wishful thinking, it is Kingdom 2. So next week, look forward to that if you are a fan of that game. It is on Thursday, April 18th. And you can watch it on YouTube and you can watch it on Twitch, and I'm sure it'll be that reveal of the next iteration into that series. And then we also do have this, which is a nice sign as to more ABK games coming over to Xbox Game Pass, something we have been waiting for a while. We got the first one with Diablo 4, but this one is Spyro Reignited Trilogy. They've added it to the Microsoft Store for PC, which has people speculating that next Tuesday, when we get that Xbox Game Pass announcement, the second one of the month, it could be coming over to Xbox Game Pass. And it would make complete sense. This is one that I would love to see come over. It is the first 3 Spyro games, all remade and beautiful graphics and everything, with Toys for Bob that did work on this. So an awesome studio that we know obviously went off and is independent now, and they've already struck a deal, a partnership with Microsoft. So that's cool. But this is going to be, I think, a signal, a sign of more games being dripped from ABK into Xbox Game Pass. And there is that rumor that the Xbox Showcase this summer in June, not only are we going to see Call of Duty Gulf War, we're also going to be getting Call of Duty games dropped into the Xbox Game Pass service. I think Diablo 4 was that trigger that now they're ready and they're going to start giving us more of those games into the Xbox Game Pass service. I really hope this one does come true, because a great trilogy. I have the physical copy of it, but I will jump in again and play it if it does drop into the Xbox Game Pass service. And then finally, let's talk about this, because there's been a lot of talk about digital, physical, all the stuff this week. And of course, digital has won the war, and it will continue to win as the physical sales are getting less and less and less. And a lot of people don't care, but there are issues with digital, and this is one of them that is popping up that people have been complaining about, and that has to do with the Nintendo Wii U, the online store, the 3DS store that were taken down. They were taken offline, and now people are not actually able to download games, DLC, that they have previously purchased, specifically Super Smash Bros. 3DS, the DLC. People are not being able to re-download them. It says Super Smash Bros. For 3DS DLC can no longer be re-downloaded following the system's eShop closure. This has been considered a staple of gaming history since the original 1999 game's release, and the 3DS and Wii U versions were a massive hit. Though the Switch has been Nintendo's priority for a long time now, the closure of the eShop for the 3DS and Wii U systems made it clear that Nintendo is finished with the previous console generation. However, the preservation of the company's legacy titles may be at stake as a consequence. So this is what is going on here. DLC that users have purchased in Super Smash Bros. For 3DS cannot be re-downloaded. In a post on Reddit, user tjob123 highlights the issue. The video, the user boots the game on their 3DS and attempts to access Smash Bros. DLC shop. They receive an error code along with a message that says this service has been discontinued. Thank you for using this service. So there you have it. I mean, this is one of the major things that's where when you talk about the full digital future, where you're going to see issues with game preservation. And it definitely is up to these companies, up to Nintendo, it's up to Xbox, up to PlayStation, to give people those options that if they've purchased these games digitally, even if the store gets taken down, the stuff that you've purchased should always be available, even if it's a small DLC character, something that you may not be able to use in the game anymore. You still purchased it, you still own it, you still have access to that content. And we're seeing these more and more of these stories pop up here. And I think this will be just the very beginning as more stores come offline, as more digital content just gets lost into the abyss. And how are they going to handle it? We have heard Xbox has started their new team, their new game preservation team. And I'm sure they're thinking about ways to make sure that going forward into the future, when they do start turning off stores, like they're turned off the Xbox 360 store, people are still going to be able to have access to all the content, which is a great thing, especially when we are hearing more and more about Xbox's strategy of playing everywhere, no matter what screen that you are on. And then we're seeing them adjust their actual interfaces on cloud gaming. Hopefully they're working on something for a mobile device, for a portable gaming device, where it's really just that one Xbox cohesive console experience that no matter where you've purchased a game, it's all within your account on any screen. And I hope Nintendo does something like this in the future. I mean, I doubt they will, because they are notorious for really just going after anybody who emulates and does anything like that to try to preserve their catalog. And as well, I hope PlayStation looks at some of this stuff and has a game preservation in mind going forward for the future of their platform and for the future of their consoles. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
We'll be right back.